Hey Aiden, are you in today?
Hey Vicky, yeah, I'm just about to head into the restaurant to start the food prep. Was there something you wanted?
Actually, yeah, there was. I was thinking that we should really try and spice the menu up a little bit, you know? Try and bring in some new customers and keep the regulars we have. I think our current menu is just a bit bland and boring at the minute.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Although, actually, I've been thinking of adding a couple new items to the menu. There are a few things that I've been wanting to try out for quite a while now. Like, what do you think of maybe a vegetarian chicken style option?
Vegetarian? Seriously? We want proper food, not some fake stuff that no one's going to even buy. I mean, that's just going to be a complete waste of money if we add that to the menu.
Well, not really. There are a lot of vegetarians in the world, and it's only becoming more common. By putting a couple of vegetarian options on our menu, we'll open ourselves up to a whole new clientele base, bringing in quite a lot of money.
It's a stupid gimmick that people are only following whilst they think it's cool. It'll blow over soon enough, and I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of useless fake meat produce that will simply go out of date and cost us a load of money that we don't see anything back from.
I really don't think that'll happen.
Look, I'm the boss here, and what I say goes. I don't want any stupid vegetarian things popping up on my menu. Understand?
Yeah, okay. I get it. Sorry.
Good. Now, in regards to the new menu items, Leon actually had a few suggestions that I think sound very good.
Oh, are you sure about letting him choose the menu like that?
What do you mean by that? Don't you think my son is capable of knowing what tastes good?
It's not that. It's just, I spent years training at culinary school to become a good chef, and in doing so, I've developed a more refined palate and knowledge of what foods go well together and how they'll taste. Leon doesn't really have that. I mean, he eats toast covered in just sugar. That's not really a great combination, especially for a restaurant.
Listen, you might have been working for my restaurant for the last few years, but that doesn't give you the right to try and do things however you want. If I say that my son's menu ideas are good, then I expect you to agree with me and find a way to incorporate them into our menu, okay? Sure, there might be a few things that you need to refine, but I don't want you messing with the core recipe.
You do know it's my job as head chef to cook good food, right?
Your job as head chef is to cook the food that I tell you, nothing else.
Okay, fine. What are the recipes?
Okay, so one of them is called a garbage plate.
A what?
Well, it's basically just a bunch of food stacked all together on one plate, like macaroni and cheese, sushi, maple fried bacon, fried chicken, and a steak. Something like that.
That sounds disgusting. Not to mention that no one will want to order all that food. It's way too much for someone to eat on their own.
Well, Leon thinks it will be a big seller, so we're going to do it.
Fine. Anything else?
Yeah, Spam sushi. Leon thinks that will go down well too.
Uh-huh. Of course he does.
And a dessert he thought of was pistachio and jalapeno ice cream on top of a white chocolate melted cookie.
Sounds... yeah.
Just make sure you prep it. I want to come and give it a try later.
Whatever you say, boss.
Okay, what on earth was that, Aiden?
What was what?
All of that food you had me eat? What were you thinking? It tasted disgusting.
Hang on, that was everything you asked me to prepare for you. I followed Leon's instructions to the letter, and that was the result. I tried to warn you that it would be revolting, but you were adamant that I make it. You can't blame me for the disaster that it was.
No way it was Leon's fault. When he made me the same dishes at home, they tasted much better. You must have gotten the recipes wrong. And you call yourself a top-rated chef.
I am a very good chef, thank you very much. I've managed your restaurant going on 8 years now, and all of the customers that I've cooked for have loved my food. There's hardly been a complaint the entire time that I've been here.
You're probably just hiding all of the complaints from me so that you look better than you actually are.
No, I'm really not. Just like I'm not gonna make Leon's questionable dishes and put them on the menu, there's just no way this is gonna be well received by customers. If anything, it'll just make your restaurant look amateur and drive away anyone who might have wanted to eat here.
What would you know of running a restaurant? All you do is stand in the back and put some chicken on a grill. It's really not that hard. I bet Leon could do it easily. You just make a fuss over nothing to try and make it seem like you are doing more than you actually are. It's pathetic.
Oh, wow, is that what you really think? And my job is so simple that even your fool of a son could do it. Have you even met Leon? He's a lazy brat who doesn't care about anything but what he wants.
Don't talk about my son like that. He's just as talented as you, if not more so. In fact, you're fired.
What?
You heard me. Frankly, your cooking skills aren't all that great, and in all honesty, I think my son would be a much better chef than you. He is innovative, adventurous, and knows what tastes good. Unlike you, who's just content to churn out the same boring food as every other restaurant about. I want food that is new and exciting. You can't deliver that, and your attitude is rubbish too. So I think it's best that you leave.
Very well, if that's what you want. But I've got to let you know that if you let me go now, then I won't be coming back. No matter what.
Yeah, that's kind of the point when you get fired. I don't want you to come back.
Do you really think that Leon's gonna be able to handle the kitchen and all of the responsibilities that come with it? All the preparations, dealing with the staff, and the pressure of making hundreds of meals a night?
He'll be just fine. I mean, you did it, so how hard can it be?
Alright, well, I did try to warn you.
Whatever. Just don't bother showing up tonight.
I wasn't planning to.
Aiden, how could you do this to me?
Vicky? How come you're messaging me?
Don't try and act all innocent. I know what you've done.
I honestly have no clue what you're on about. I've not done anything.
Oh, so this article trashing my restaurant isn't your doing at all? Neither are all of the bad reviews that have oh so conveniently flooded my restaurant's business pages only days after you left?
No, none of that has anything to do with me.
I find that difficult to believe. You're just trying to get back at me for firing you. But to make up a fake food review under a false name, that is just going too far. I mean, I could sue you for slander. In fact, I might just do that.
Food review?
Yeah, your review under the name Chris Biggins? What a stupid fake name as well. What, you couldn't come up with a better one?
Vicky, Chris Biggins is a real food critic. He does anonymous drop-ins to restaurants and reviews them without them knowing. That way he can gauge how good the restaurant and its food are without the owners knowing and putting on a fake display.
What?
Yeah, he's also known for being brutally honest in his reviews. If he likes your food, he'll say so, and if it's rubbish, he'll also let you know that too. He's known for being reliable in his evaluations, so a lot of people trust his reviews.
But then, if he's a real person, why did he give my restaurant such a poor review?
What did he say?
Well, he said that the waitstaff were all rude, and that the styling of the restaurant was weird and unwelcoming, which I don't get because Leon said it was chic and modern and that everyone would love the new style. But the worst thing was that the critics said the food was inedible. He claimed that after just one bite, he felt like he was going to throw up. Since then, there have been fewer and fewer customers coming to the restaurant. Even before the critic, I started getting complaints, asking where the old chef had gone and why. Everything's going downhill.
I did try to warn you, Leon's food wasn't innovative, it was just weird and disgusting. No one wants to eat stuff like that, especially if you're paying for it.
You've got to help me. I need you to come back. Like, today. Plus, I need you to do a complete new menu, because Leon's messed up my old one and created a new one of things he likes. Preferably, I need you to do that today as well, so that we can start to draw customers back in. I'll expect you at the restaurant around 2 so that you can prep and get things ready.
Whoa, 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 I'm not coming back, Vicky.
What? But you have to. I'm your boss.
Actually, you stopped being my boss the moment you fired me.
It doesn't work like that. Even if I fired you for the time being, you're still expected to show up when I need you to do something.
No, actually, it doesn't work like that. I told you that if you fired me, then I wouldn't be coming back.
But why not?
Did you honestly think that other places wouldn't hire me? I'm an exceptional chef and lots of people recognize that. I had had so many offers to come and work for other people, but I turned them all down because I was working for you at the time and wanted to help you out, as I saw you were struggling. But after you acted so vile towards me, I saw no reason to stick around. I'm now working at a Michelin star restaurant where my food and my abilities are actually appreciated.
But I need a chef.
Well, that's your problem now, not mine. Why not get Leon to do it? Surely it's not that difficult a job, right?
But you know what you're doing and everything. It's too much for Leon. He doesn't take it seriously. Half of the time, he doesn't even show up.
Sorry, but I'm not going back to work somewhere where I'm treated horribly and degraded for my skills. I'm happy where I am and get treated with the respect I deserve. Good luck with your restaurant. However, I would appreciate it if you didn't contact me again. Thank you, and goodbye, Vicky.
Wait, Aiden.
After that, I didn't hear from Vicky again. The last I heard, her restaurant went out of business as she couldn't find anyone willing to become her new head chef, especially after the Food Critics review came out. As for me, I continued working at the Michelin-starred restaurant until I'd saved up enough money to open up my own restaurant, which had always been my dream. I was treated with respect and my ideas were always taken seriously. It just goes to show that in order to keep your employees, you need to treat them right. After all, they're the ones who keep a business running at the end of the day, and without them, nothing can be done.
Hey, Jack! Are you there? Where are you right now?
What is it, Sydney?
Look, if you're out trying to find a job, that's fine. But if you're just messing around, then you're going to be in serious trouble.
I've told you countless times already, though I don't know if you're even bothering to try to listen. I have a job. I'm not wasting my life away unemployed. Today I headed out in order to talk with the client directly. This isn't even the first time I've done this. How are you still under this misconception?
Misconception? Yeah, right. You keep trying to tell me you're someone who works from home, right? Are you sure you're not just trying to use that as an excuse to not go job hunting after having graduated a while ago?
I am also doing work at home, yes, but I only consider that a side job, nothing more.
Huh? A side job? You would have to have a main job of some kind to have a side job, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily. When it comes to the bulk of my income, I'm pretty sure Tom already explained it to you, didn't he? You understand how investment income works, right?
Oh, and here we go with this again. That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You're just assuming that your investments will pay enough in an attempt to justify not having a real job. The world isn't that simple. You can't expect those investments to give you everything you need.
I mean, it's not like I'm relying that much on that income anyway. That's why I'm doing this other job to begin with, so I can leave the investments alone. The longer I leave them, the more valuable they get. Also, I'm not unemployed, like I already told you.
Oh, come on! I'm not going to let you just railroad this conversation your way.
The only one railroading things is you with your abject refusal to listen to reason.
Tom is just totally different from you. I guess he just felt like he had to treat you nicely as the big brother.
Okay, so you're just ignoring everything I'm saying now?
But as a result, you just seem completely spoiled. And why should I pay attention to someone who has no clue how the world works? I guess I'm the one who has to deal with raking you over the coals so you don't end up a totally worthless person.
I think it would be a lot better if you just stayed out of it, to be honest.
Excuse me?
Look, You haven't made the slightest effort to actually understand what I'm telling you. Everything I say to you goes in one ear and out the other. In fact, I would go so far as to guess that you've listened to what Tom, Mom, and Dad have told you, and just chose to twist their words to match whatever interpretation you wanted to take from them. If you keep blundering forward without thinking everything through, you might be in for some serious trouble in the future. I'd suggest you take a page out of Tom's book and try to pump the brakes a bit before you go charging off doing something reckless that you'll regret later. I'd highly recommend that you don't try to mess with things that you don't understand, and just leave things be until he comes back home from overseas. We're already living just fine together in this duplex. There's no need to rock the boat unnecessarily.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Do you really think you can talk like you have some level of influence around here? Are you forgetting who's the one who's even being kind enough to let a jobless guy like you stick around here? As your brother's wife, I am merely tolerating your presence as you continue to just sit here doing nothing.
So, about that.
What?
That last statement of yours just proved that you don't understand a thing about our situation here.
Excuse me?
If I remember correctly, you're the one who used Tom's overseas business posting as an excuse to start living in my half of the house, right? And this is despite the fact that you already were doing just fine in your half. This is a duplex. They're separate for a reason.
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. I used his trip as a reason to live here? What are you trying to say?
All I said was the truth. Nothing more. But for you to look down on me like I'm some leech and just decide for yourself that I have no job? I don't understand how you can even believe this nonsense you're spouting. So please, just drop the issue at least until Tom returns home.
What's with your tone? I don't like the arrogance I'm sensing in it. Well, whatever. Regardless of what's going on, Tom's return home will be the most ideal timing for us to finally decide who's right and wrong. It's, what, 3 months until he's back home? Once he gets back, we'll see for sure who's in the wrong here. Until then, I suggest you get ready to be kicked out of the house, okay?
Yeah, right. Hey, Sydney. I just took a look at my room and... what's going on? The room is completely empty. My shelves, bed, desk, clothes, chair. Everything is gone. The only thing left in the room is a small note in the middle of the floor that you wrote.
Ah, so you finally came home, huh? Honestly, for someone as lowly as you to go on a trip to Los Angeles and stay for 3 nights? Now that the time for us to settle our dispute is finally getting closer, you think it's just okay to just go do as you please?
What do you mean, settle our dispute?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. You said it yourself, remember? You said we'll settle things once Tom comes home from overseas.
Excuse me?
My parents-in-law also just happened to be out at a party with some of the neighbors, so they're not here either. So today was my chance. I thought that if I was going to make a move to bring this all to an end, I had to do it now.
Okay. Seriously now. I didn't say a thing about settling things. All I asked was for you to leave things be until he got back.
What are you talking about? That's the same thing! The timing was perfect for me to finally correct your mistaken understanding of how the world works, and in the clearest way possible.
I don't even know how I can approach that convoluted mess of logic. Regardless, Tom comes home from overseas tomorrow, doesn't he? So, why did you feel like you had to start doing things today? Again, I asked you to hold off until he comes back. Not until a day before he comes back. Not until a few hours before he arrives. I asked you specifically to wait until he returns.
Today, tomorrow, what difference does one day make? I mean, no matter how you look at it, All you're waiting for is to be kicked out of the house in the end anyway.
And I've told you that that's only your complete misunderstanding of the situation. I have no clue why you just can't seem to understand what's going on.
What's this now? What am I supposedly misunderstanding?
For the past 3 months, I have tried to break down everything so I could explain it to you in as many different ways as possible. But you just outright refused to listen, and instead did little more than hysterically throw verbal abuse at me day in and day out.
Well, of course I didn't listen to you. What reason would I have to believe some naive simpleton who doesn't understand how society works?
It's astonishing how accurately that describes you.
Anyway, an unemployed layabout like you is nothing but a nuisance. So, while you may have somehow managed to get a car at some point recently, if you don't hurry up and get out of this house, I won't just destroy your things. I'll also smash up that car.
Wow, it's a good thing I brought my work laptop with me on this trip. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to meet my deadline and my clients would lose their trust in me.
Right. All that work you've been doing entirely inside your own head, right? I'm telling you, that sort of stuff is bad for your head. So you need to leave the house before you start causing trouble around here with your insanity. This is my personal style of kindness through strictness. And, well, since there isn't a single thing of yours left in this house, there isn't actually any reason for you to be here anymore, is there?
Right. So it's best if I leave then?
Exactly! That's precisely what you should do.
Okay then. I'm not responsible for anything that comes of this, got it?
Sure. Enjoy all those sour grapes somewhere else. I want you out of here before the end of the day. Say, Jack? Could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that. Actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, got totally pissed off, then shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had. And that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
Say, Jack? Could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that. Actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, got totally pissed off, then shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had. And that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
Hey, Jack! You little... What did you say to Tom?
What, did Tom do something?
He said he was going to file for divorce!
Oh, he did now, did he?
Why? Why would he do this? All I did was misunderstand some things a little. That's all. Was it really so bad as to want a divorce for it?
Well, to be perfectly honest, yes. I'm not at all surprised he wants a divorce.
What? Why?
Are you really asking that? Did you already forget what you did to me?
What are you talking about?
You threw away literally everything I had in my room.
Wait, that was... Well, I admit that I was in the wrong on that one. But all of your data for your work was still fine, wasn't it? So what's the problem?
You really don't think much about what you're doing, do you? Even if we discount the furniture that you threw out that cost a lot to replace. Among the things you threw out were mementos of my late grandparents, and of my late mother.
There were?
There were also antiques that my father had given me when I graduated high school, including a special fountain pen that I used every day and kept in pristine condition. And then there's the present I got from my girlfriend for my birthday, the suit I got from Tom as a graduation gift, my photo album from when I was a kid, my own personal mementos from when I was growing up. All of it. You threw away all of it because you just wanted to kick me out of my own house. A fact you refused to listen to me explain. Because of your childish inability to listen to a truth that didn't agree with you, you threw everything away I ever had to remember my family or my childhood by.
I don't know what I can even say to that.
That's why I asked Tom. It doesn't matter if I received all the money in the world as compensation. All of the things that were thrown out will never come back. So, I asked my brother to cut off the root cause of this whole problem. I asked him to divorce you.
What?
Of course, I knew that he had no obligation to agree to my request. That all depended on how he felt about everything. But it seems that he chose to do what I asked of him this time, doesn't it?
Why? Why would you ask him to do something like that?
Because your very existence causes me emotional trauma.
Huh?
I can't comprehend how a monster like you can even exist. To think that you could be so heartless as to happily throw out every single thing that had sentimental value to someone else. And all because you didn't even have the basic decency to actually listen to what someone else had to say. Who knows what you could do to Tom in the future if you treat his brother like this? I remember how you threatened to destroy my car. What if one day you got angry at him and decided to destroy his?
What are you saying? Tom is my husband. Why would I ever do something like that?
Well, when you suddenly decide to throw out someone's things with zero regard for how much value they hold, I'm pretty sure we can't really consider any possibility out of the question with you.
But he's my husband! It's different! Why is he so quick to take your side?
Tom and I may not be connected by blood, but we still get along really well. Perhaps more than many actual brothers.
Okay, So the two of you have a good relationship. But I have a good relationship with him too. Why would he have married me otherwise?
Well, he understood quite well the amount of pain and sadness felt at seeing all of my memories callously thrown away. As you might expect, that made him unfathomably angry. I could almost feel his heart burning with anger. It sounds like that very day he decided he was going to divorce you.
Couldn't you at least wait a little bit?
No. After what you've done, I'm surprised you think you can even ask for anything at all at this point. I warned you 3 months ago. I told you to hold off on acting recklessly, but just like always, you didn't listen to me. You reap what you sow. Anyway, I've told you everything I need to now. Can you just hurry up and get divorced and get out of this house? Forever.
What? No, wait, please.
Oh, and I'm going to block you, in the hope that you never taint my life with your presence ever again. And so, Tom and Sydney divorced, and Sydney left to go live out in the country somewhere. Though, on Tom's recommendation, I decided to file a lawsuit against Sydney, seeking damages for her destruction of my precious belongings. The total amount came to about $50,000. Though, in a rather unsurprising development, Sydney was someone who was completely irresponsible with her money and had no savings to speak of. Apparently, one of her main aims when marrying Tom was to get her hands on his money. Unable to pay a cent of the damages and grumbling about being ripped off, Sydney found herself at the mercy of her now furious parents. They paid the damages and forced Sydney to pay them back the money through her own work. Now she's working day and night to pay off her colossal debt. As for me, after this sort of traumatic event happened in this house, I decided to sell it. I couldn't bear to live in it any longer. Now I'm looking into renovating another house in the next town over, and I've got my parents, Tom, and my soon-to-be wife in on the planning. Now we're happily talking about this exciting new project and where it will take our lives next.